Ubisoft shows us around the world of Assassin's Creed Shadows in the latest trailer. Ubisoft's vast virtual version of Japan features in the first Assassin's Creed made solely for the current gen of consoles, and it looks the part, with dense forests and towering mountains, dynamic weather, and shifting seasons. The game's exact technical specs are still to be confirmed, but I was impressed by its clear upgrade from other Assassin's Creed games past, particularly in its eye-catching smaller details, such as rain running realistically down bamboo guttering, or stalls full of fruit you can topple, sending their contents scattering across a road. In past Assassin's Creeds, global illumination was static. Light would bounce off surfaces and diffuse realistically, but it wouldn't and couldn't adapt to environmental changes, and while previous games didn't allow for many environmental changes, Shadows is filled with them. Lights can be turned off and on, doors can be cut down or smashed through, and bamboo trees, market stalls, and fences can all be destroyed. Thanks to ray-tracing global illumination, the lighting interacting with all of these objects and environments will adjust accordingly. Ubisoft has been just a little bit quiet regarding Assassin's Creed Shadows, the next anticipated installment in the Assassin's Creed series, but hopefully that's about to change. Since it's set to launch in just a couple of months on November 15th, 2024, which isn't all that far away at this point. Anyway, the new trailer highlights the world of Assassin's Creed Shadows and also digs into the tech a bit for those who are into that side of the game development cycle. Immerse yourself in the captivating and ever-changing world of feudal Japan. This vast open world is full of unexpected discoveries and wonders at a time when beauty, serenity, and tradition clash with treachery, violence, and war. Micropolygon tech may not be as familiar of a term as ray tracing, but Fortin highlights just how revolutionary the technology is, even though it's working behind the scenes. Because Assassin's Creed's vast open worlds have long sightlines and draw distances, developers can't render all visible assets at their full resolution. Your GPU is going to melt if you do that, jokes Fortin. To solve this problem in the past, developers had to build multiple assets with low, medium, and high polygonal counts and swap them out as the player got closer to them. For example, a building that is visible from 2 kilometers away doesn't need to have the same level of detail as a building that's 1 meter away, and in the past, the same building would be swapped out with higher fidelity models as a player moved throughout the world. With micropolygons, developers don't need to create multiple versions of the same asset to swap out. Think of micropolygons as sort of adaptable intelligent assets that know how to render themselves best based on their visibility and proximity to the player, says Fortin. Not only does this eliminate the need for developers to create multiple assets, but it allows them to budget GPU bandwidth more efficiently, allowing for increased polygon counts and better graphical fidelity up close. When it came to creating the world, the team aimed for a level of interactivity previously unseen in the franchise. While ray tracing global illumination and micropolygons help render the environment as the player affects the world, there was an opportunity to have world dynamism that affects the player, too. Our goal is to make a world that looked good, but also had an impact on gameplay, says Dan Serro. Assassin's Creed Shadows features distinct seasons. These make the world visually distinct so that the same location can look and feel vastly different depending on the time of year. But the world can change even within those seasons thanks to dynamic weather, meaning that missions have several environmental factors that can all alter your gameplay experience. With ponds frozen over, for example, there'll be no taking cover beneath the water. Take on the same mission during a nighttime spring rainstorm, and you'll find your footsteps muffled by the rain and enemies less likely to spot you in the dark. We wanted a dynamic new feeling, says Fortin. Both the micro scale and the macro scale, so that when you see a storm coming, you can adapt how you play the game, knowing that it's going to make you stealthier when it's time to sneak into that castle. With two vastly different protagonists, a setting in feudal Japan and destructible environments, Assassin's Creed Shadows is introducing a lot of new features to the franchise, but the technical innovations that change how the world looks and feels might just be the first thing players notice. Fortin hopes that the new level of dynamism adds a sense of immersion and beauty that previous games couldn't quite capture. Our goal from the beginning was to go from a beautiful postcard to a beautiful movie. Assassin's Creed Shadows is available for pre-order now and launches on November 15th on PS5, Xbox Series XS, Amazon Luna. Macs with Apple Silicon via the Mac App Store, and Windows PC through the Ubisoft Store and the Epic Games Store. The game will also come to iPad at a later date. Players who purchase the Gold Edition, Ultimate Edition, Collector's Edition, or have a Ubisoft Plus premium subscription can play the game 3 days early on November 12th.